Alors, bonsoir à tout le monde. Soyez les bienvenus. Merci beaucoup pour votre patience. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Now we will start. Ce webinaire, nous allons l'avoir et en français et en anglais. Et nous avons comme conférencier Monsieur James Go, qui est le fondateur du logiciel AI, LISE, si je prononce bien. Okay, we are going to start and we will talk both in French and in English. We welcome Sir James Go, who is the founder of the software AI, LISE. Alors, cet atelier propose une approche pratique de l'exploitation des outils d'IA pour analyser les données et pour nous permettre de découvrir des idées et mettre à l'échelle des évaluations de manière efficace et efficiente. Alors, les participants pourront, pendant ce webinaire, explorer et étudier des cas pratiques, notamment l'analyse de transcription d'entretien par l'IA et découvrir comment l'IA a analysé 50 transcriptions d'entretien pour le HCR, générant des informations exploitables grâce à une analyse thématique spécifique au segment. Alors, ce sera aussi l'occasion de voir comment l'IA peut nous permettre d'examiner des documents comprenant 700 réponses en 5 langues différentes concernant des projets qui ont été menés par des agences des Nations Unies. So, ladies and gentlemen, this workshop offers a practical approach to leveraging AI tools to analyze data, uncover insights, and scale evaluations effectively and efficiently. So participants will explore during this 1 hour how AI interview transcripts has been analyzed. We will learn how AI help us to analyze data from projects that have been led by this software AI analyze for UN agencies. And this afternoon, we are welcoming Sir James Go on the behalf of Sir Mr. Samuel Kwaku, who is the president of Desueval, which means Initiative Ivoirienne pour l'Évaluation. We want to thank you for joining us. Alors, au nom du président de l'initiative ivoirienne pour l'évaluation des UEVAL, nous voulons vous souhaiter la bienvenue et merci de nous rejoindre. Alors, sans plus tarder, nous allons maintenant accueillir M. James Go pour nous présenter de façon pratique cette application qu'on appelle AI LISE qui a permis de pouvoir faire des travaux d'analyse sur des projets menés par des agences des Nations Unies. Alors, sans plus tarder, nous allons laisser la parole à notre conférencier du jour. So, Sir James, you have the floor. Thank you so much.
Okay. Hi, my name is James. Today we'll be covering the use of AI in the UN. Let me introduce myself.
Alors, laissez-moi me présenter. Je suis James.
My academic background is in AI from MIT and Wharton. I have experience in evaluation at places like ID Insight, One Acre Fund, and Dahlberg. And more recently, I founded AI Lies, which is a US company that supports the use of AI in evaluation. And we have an online tool as well as supporting AI consulting projects.
Alors, je viens d'une formation académique en IA et en économique du développement au MIT et à Wharton. J'ai eu de l'expérience dans le développement international et en évaluation, ayant travaillé chez ID Insight, One Acre Fund et Delberg. Je suis fondateur de AI Lies, une startup basée aux États-Unis qui soutient l'évaluation dans le secteur du développement. Alors, iLies propose un outil d'IA en ligne ainsi que des projets de conseil en IA.
So today I'll cover two case studies. One is the use of AI avatars to interview respondents, and then to use AI to analyze interview transcripts. This is with the UN Institute of Training and Research. The second is with UNICEF. It's to use AI to do a synthesis of about 700 management responses across over 160 evaluation reports. And throughout this presentation, I will cover a tutorial on how the UN agencies use AI Lies, which you can also use on our online website. So this gives you a hands-on understanding of how the tool works. And I will also cover throughout the presentation some of my own reflections around bias, hallucination, human oversight, and other AI concerns.
Alors, cet après-midi, nous allons présenter deux études de cas. Alors, la première étude de cas concerne l'utilisation d'un intervieweur à l'aide de l'application AI Lies pour collecter 50 entretiens et comment on a pu utiliser l'IA pour analyser toutes ces transcriptions. Alors, la deuxième étude de cas concerne l'utilisation de l'IA pour effectuer la synthèse de 700 réponses de la direction, et ce, dans l'un des projets de l'UNICEF.
So the first case study is to use the AI avatar interviewer to collect over 50 interviews and to analyze the interview transcripts. And this is with the UN Institute of Training and Research.
Alors, la première étude de cas concerne l'utilisation d'un intervieweur. Donc, c'est un avatar IA pour collecter 50 entretiens, et ce, pour une institution des Nations Unies chargée de la formation, l'Institut de formation et de recherche des Nations Unies, pardon.
So what they used is to use AI Lies to create an AI avatar to interview stakeholders and evaluate training effectiveness. And on screen, these are the list of questions that they wanted the avatar to ask their respondents. And they wanted to cover over 28 different languages, including French.
Alors, il s'est agi dans ce premier cas d'utiliser AI pour créer un avatar afin d'évaluer l'efficacité de la formation. Et ceci dans, you said 28 languages, right?
Yep.
Oui, et dans 28 langues.
So this is what the AI avatar looks like. The users would go to the survey link on their mobile phones or on their computers, and they will then speak to the avatar in their native language. And this allows UNITAR to collect a lot of interviews very quickly. And the AI follows your interview guide, and also based on what you're saying, it then asks relevant follow-up questions. So what we found was the AI avatar could collect over 50 interviews in just 3 days across multiple languages. And the participants were very comfortable speaking to the avatar. The avatar also asked good follow-up questions, asking why, how, based on what the respondents are saying. And each transcript was about 10 pages long. So we got very useful insights around how these avatars could actually interview stakeholders and how participants were actually very happy with speaking to the avatar. We also used AI to transcribe the audio. So we were able to convert the audio into text, and then we could analyze those interview transcripts. Once UNITAR collected all these transcripts, they then ran different types of analyses. They could get a summary, themes, answers to questions, frequency analysis, and compare viewpoints across different segments. And this allows them to, analyze all the different participants and their transcripts very quickly and to get key insights. So um, this is what the report looks like. They could get a summary, themes, and answers to different research questions, and they can click on that, and what they'll see is these detailed answers. So an overall analysis across all the files, as well as individual analyses for each file. And this makes it easy for participants to understand what did all of the participants say and also dive deeper into what individual participants talked about. And this is an analysis for a theme or a question that the researchers had. Next, this is, you'll see that every analysis is backed up by citations and quotes. So you can see where all the quotes are linked to actual quotes from the participants. And you can also click on the quotes to see where it lies in the source document. And that makes it easy to understand, where all of the information is coming from, and there's no risk of bias or hallucination. If you scroll down, you'll see a comparison of viewpoints across groups. So comparison between males and females, similarities and differences. And then if you scroll down, you'll also see a frequency analysis. So for every theme, the AI will identify the different viewpoints that participants had and give you a graph to count how many participants talked about each viewpoint, and then helps to quantify and count how they differ between males and females. Next, at the bottom, you can also understand for each viewpoint the specific participant that spoke about it. And then you can also click on the quote to see what the participant said for that viewpoint. And then finally, there's also an AI chatbot that can help to analyze and give you more direct responses. So you can clarify and use the chatbot to understand to refine the analysis, or you could use the chatbot to write a report, for example. So overall, what UNITAR did was it analyzed over 50 interviews in 2 days across multiple languages. It generated a very detailed report, thematic analysis, content analysis, cross-segment analysis, and frequency analysis. And you see that here AI helps to organize all of the insights. And also the human provides the synthesis and implications. So the AI is not really replacing the human. The AI is helping to organize what are the most common viewpoints, but the human still needs to put in the synthesis, understand what are the implications, come up with recommendations, and that's still very human driven. So maybe I'll pause here, and then this is a summary of the first case study. And then, you can do a quick translation, and I'll move on to the second case study. Okay, so next is the second case study. So this is to use AI to conduct a synthesis of management responses across different evaluation reports. And this is with UNICEF. So here AI helped to analyze over 700 different management responses. And what this means is UNICEF had a database of different reports in an Excel sheet, and they wanted to analyze over 700 rows of recommendations and management responses. So this would be very time consuming for humans to analyze. And so what UNICEF wanted to do was to use AI to analyze all these responses. So what UNICEF did was they uploaded the data to our AI platform. They selected the column that they wanted to analyze. And then when they click on the button, they will get all the themes and subthemes in that column. So this is similar to analyzing survey comments or social media comments, for example. So when they click on that button, what they'll see is theme, subthemes, and here the UNICEF could then modify it to align it to their theory of change or to their results framework. And the ones they're happy with all these codes, they can then press the button and it will code every single row according to this code book. So this is an example of the AI output. The zeros and ones represent all of the AI codes, and it codes every single row. And so with this, the AI will then generate frequency analyses, so you can tell what are the top, issues in terms of themes and subthemes. And then you could also look through the topics and see the specific quotes. And then next, you'll also get a short report covering all of the top themes and subthemes. And if you scroll down, you'll get even more details for every subtheme along with illustrative quotes. So the final output is UNICEF managed to, use all of the AI insights to write their final report. So this is what the final report looks like. You see those frequency charts, and a lot of the text in the final report were written by AI. And this makes it very easy to, help you write your final report and do your analysis. So this is UNICEF assessment of how how effective AI was in this analysis. So they found that, AI was very good at identifying key themes. It provided a very good starting place. It provided a high quality written draft. It was fairly fast, and it provided a wide range of examples across different languages. Um, and so clearly AI could do a good analysis and could help to identify a very accurate insights. But at the same time, UNICEF also said that the AI required verification, review, and validation. So what this means is, AI will not understand the full context of your analysis. Not all the themes that it identifies might be relevant, so you still need to verify and review it. So AI can help you again organize all the insights, but the strategic synthesis still requires human input. So this is the final slide that I have, and this covers some of the key reflections. And then in the next 30 minutes to an hour, we can discuss a bit more about, each of these different reflections, and I can go a little bit deeper. We can have a bit more of an interactive session at the end. So what you see here is that AI has a fairly low risk of hallucination and bias. All of the AI assessments are backed up by quotes. There's fairly high accuracy, as you saw in UNICEF and UNITAR's assessment. The AI could understand what respondents said during the AI avatar interviews. The AI could understand what the interview transcripts wrote, and it's performing fairly well. However, there is one area where the AI does not perform as well, and that's with ambiguous phrases. So for terms like strategic partnership or leave no one behind, those are fairly ambiguous phrases that are, hard even amongst humans to define. And so you need to be a much more careful in defining some of these terms before the AI can give you a consistent assessment of these terms. The fourth reflection is about the need for human insight, and AI helps to collect and organize all of the data, but the human is still required to draw out those implications. And then finally, there's strong data security. So data is always encrypted, so no one else can see your data. It's also not used to train any AI models. This is with many AI tools now. So you don't need to be too afraid that people can see your data because of encryption and also exclusion from any AI model training. So that comes to this very brief overview of the different UN case studies in AI. I was very quick, but maybe we can have a bit more of an interactive session here to discuss some of what I had presented. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir James. Merci beaucoup à Monsieur James. Alors, ce qu'on va faire, permettez-moi en 5 minutes de résumer, même si ça ne va pas suffire. Et on va ensuite poser des questions. Alors, now I will use maybe 5 minutes to do a summarize. Then participants will ask questions. We can also use the chat. You can raise your hand. Alors, donc, nous allons passer maintenant au résumé en français en 5 minutes et on aura l'occasion de poser les questions en passant par le chat ou en levant nos mains. Alors, ce que M. James disait déjà, merci à lui, c'est que pour le premier cas, il y a un avatar, un intervieweur qui a été utilisé grâce à l'application AI Live pour collecter 50 entretiens en seulement 3 jours. Et les participants étaient à l'aise de parler avec cet avatar. Donc, l'avatar a posé de bonnes questions de suivi. Et cela a donné lieu à des réponses détaillées de la part des participants. Alors, l'avatar était tellement interactif de sorte que si les participants s'arrêtent trop longtemps, l'avatar suppose parfois que le participant a fini de parler. Et comme moyen d'analyse, le logiciel AI Live a permis de faire une analyse assez détaillée de ces entretiens à travers la codification et la présentation des résultats. Alors, ce que M. James vient de dire, c'est que l'application va nous donner des résultats, on va dire systématisés ou automatisés. Cependant, il appartient à l'intervention humaine de pouvoir donner du sens à toutes ces analyses-là en ce qui concerne le rapportage. Donc, pour revenir sur les résultats de cette expérience, c'est que l'application a permis de faire des analyses de contenu, des analyses on va dire quoi, bivariées entre les groupes qui ont été interviewés, c'est-à-dire les hommes et les femmes. Ça a permis de faire des analyses de fréquence pour comprendre quel est le niveau de proportion d'une perception auprès des participants. Par exemple, 27 participants pensaient que, etc., etc. Alors, l'IA aide à organiser l'information, les informations, comme on l'a dit. Il appartient donc à l'humain de fournir la synthèse et, on va dire, les interprétations. En ce qui concerne l'étude de cas numéro 2, donc l'étude de cas numéro 1, il s'agissait de l'UNITA. Et l'étude de cas numéro 2 concerne l'UNICEF. Il s'est agi d'utiliser l'IA pour effectuer des synthèses de 700 réponses de la direction, et y compris 160 rapports d'évaluation. Alors, humainement parlant, ça demande beaucoup de temps pour analyser 700 réponses. Et donc, l'IA Analyze a permis de coder ces données-là et de pouvoir proposer une analyse de ces résultats. Et donc, derrière toutes ces prouesses technologiques, ce qu'il faut retenir, c'est que l'IA permet une haute précision. Donc, l'IA a analysé avec succès les données, avec une grande précision dans de multiples cas d'utilisation, comme on vient de le voir avec l'UNITA et l'UNICEF. Alors, à l'exception de quelques phrases ambiguës, donc difficile d'aligner la compréhension humaine et la compréhension de l'IA, d'expressions telles que partenariat stratégique, ne laisser personne de côté. Alors, ce sont des langages humains qui ne sont pas forcément toujours compréhensibles par la machine. Donc, il y a la nécessité d'une surveillance humaine. Donc, l'IA aide à collecter et à organiser les données. L'homme doit en tirer on va dire, les interprétations de ce qu'il fait de ces données-là. Et aussi, grâce à l'utilisation de l'application, on a un faible risque d'hallucination et de biais. Donc, toutes les évaluations de l'IA sont étayées par des citations tirées des données sources. Souvent, quand on utilise ChatGPT, on se rend compte que euh, quand il ne connaît pas de résultats, parce qu'il veut donner faussement une information, il fait des hallucinations. Alors que dans ce cas, il n'y a pas d'hallucination dans ce sens que l'IA va chercher les informations directement dans ce que les participants ont dit. Alors, il y a la question aussi de renforcer la sécurité des données. Donc, assurer que nous devons nous assurer que les données sont chiffrées afin que personne d'autre, cryptées, on va dire, afin que personne d'autre ne les consulte. Donc, cette IA permet aussi de crypter ces données-là. Donc, voici un peu les préoccupations de sécurité et de précision que cette IA-là permet de régler. Alors, on va donner l'occasion aux participants de poser des questions directement à notre conférencier. Que ce soit en anglais ou en français, vos questions sont les bienvenues. Thanks so much, everyone. Now we are opening the question and answers time. Feel free, please, to raise your question. Our speaker is around to help us to understand. Thank you. There is a question in the chat. Someone is asking, is it any PDF document to share on these 3 case studies?
So you can Google search this. It's the UNICEF report. It's the UNICEF review of management responses to humanitarian evaluations, and AI Lies was used in this tool in this review. More importantly, AI was also compared to traditional qualitative coding, and so you can read in the annex how AI was used and how it was different or similar. The essential key takeaways are already here. High quality draft, fast, different languages, range of examples. However, of course, there's still a need for verification, review, and validation. So this is one example of a PDF that you can Google to see the full case study.
Ok, thank you, sir. Une autre question. Quelqu'un a-t-il une question? Vous pouvez lever votre main ou utiliser le chat. Do you have any question? You can raise your hand or use the chat. Oui, Mrs. Mr. Sylvia Paris, you have the floor.
Merci. Hello. So I'm wondering if there is a focused conversation that looks at risk analysis, right? So I think if I was catching it appropriately, it feels like kind of a benefits piece that was talked about. But I'm just wondering, alongside that, is there a risk analysis that we can look at, be directed look at? The other question was, in terms of a decision around the avatar, like is there access to avatars that feel like they can be reflective of the community of which you represent? And say for me, it'd be like Black women perspective. So are those avatars available as well?
Yeah, so on the first around risks, throughout I tried to talk about some of the key risks. So Those are typically about hallucination, bias, accuracy, data security. Um, so on, things like hallucination and bias, as you saw throughout the tool, everything is always backed up by a citation, and you can even click on the citation to understand where it comes from in the source data. So in terms of hallucination and bias, the risk is actually, in my opinion, a bit overblown because, increasingly a lot of AI tools are citing all of the responses, allowing you to fact check. So that makes it not a big issue. Similarly, for accuracy, for the vast majority of questions in general context, it's able, as you saw with the UNICEF analysis and review, it was also fairly happy with some of the key analyses. Um, and then for things like data security, what I highlighted was it is for sure a risk. However, you just need to focus really on whether your data is properly encrypted by the tool and if your data is being trained by any AI models. If you are assured through these measures, then your data is relatively safe. Where I would highlight in terms of risks that I think people don't really focus much on are around things like ambiguous phrasing or ambiguous questions. Um, it's not that the AI sort of doesn't understand it or that the AI is making up fake information. It is more that the AI and the human have different understandings of, these ambiguous phrases. Even amongst humans, it's often difficult to exactly pinpoint what it might mean. So just to give an example, strategic partnership might mean that you have a partnership with a private sector partner. It might mean you're working with another nonprofit who is in your management committee. So what exactly does strategic partnership mean? It's often very unclear. And if you just ask an AI, did the program support strategic partnership? It's going to give you all sorts of different answers, all of them accurate, meaning that they're factual, but they may not be aligned to what you're looking for. So that's something that is a risk. If you don't check properly some of the assessments that the AI is making, you might miss out that actually what you interpret as a strategic partnership is different from what another human or just the AI would interpret it. And then the other piece is about human oversight, where the AI primarily helps to organize all of the data, but the humans required to draw out those implications. The AI, as you saw throughout the analysis, is just primarily telling you what are more frequent viewpoints or less frequent viewpoints, but what that means and whether you trust some of those what your participants are saying or what your data is saying, do you actually understand what the data did not say? And if the data did not mention something, do you also catch that and write that into your final report that none of the participants talked about this point, and it was not raised and it was not didn't appear in the AI report. That's also an interesting finding that humans would need to put in that critical thinking. So that's also another key risk. Then your final question is around the AI avatar and whether it's representative of people from different ethnicities. So yes, there's a range of avatars that you can select from, including what you talked about, a female, Black. Um, at the same time, it doesn't capture all minorities, all ethnicities. So it's still definitely a work in progress. But one benefit of this avatar, which is maybe counterintuitive, is what we're seeing is even if you are of a different ethnicity, you can use the avatar to get even more detailed responses from your respondents. This is most prominent between males and females. So if a human male, we've done some experiments, if a human male does the interview versus a female avatar doing the interview, respondents actually give more detailed responses to a female avatar. And that's just in general, females, whether human or AI, get more detailed responses for respondents in general.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. We have a hand raised. Mr. Bagia, allez-y, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, bonjour et merci encore pour l'opportunité, l'initiative qui est très intéressante. Alors, je voulais faire un complément, puis peut-être poser une question en même temps. Étant donné que les exemples qui ont été pris sont ceux effectivement des processus de sélection, par exemple, de staffing, et les organisations internationales utilisent ces process-là pour réduire un peu le nombre de candidatures, ainsi de suite. Mais généralement, ceux qui connaissent un peu le fonctionnement de l'IA passent généralement à travers pour être toujours dans la shortlist parce que c'est souvent le comptage de mots ou les attitudes comportementales ou visuelles. Donc, il y a une façon de se préparer pour une interview ou bien un process avec l'IA ou devant. C'est déjà bien. Mais maintenant, dans le cas concret des qui n'ont pas l'opportunité, tout le monde n'a pas la chance d'être dans les processus de sélection d'IA pour les sélections, pour les reporting. Mais au niveau des projets, des programmes, est-ce que l'intervenant a des exemples pratiques qui peuvent un peu aider comment il est utilisé au niveau des Nations Unies là, dans sa start-up? Est-ce qu'il a participé à un mécanisme où son outil a été utilisé un peu pour mesurer la crédibilité des résultats, l'efficience des résultats, l'efficacité, les changements, en tout cas sur les effets, des choses comme ça un peu pratiques. Au-delà de la partie synthèse de l'UNICEF ou bien de l'UNITA ou bien des autres agences, est-ce qu'il y a un exemple comme ça qui peut nous montrer et édifier un peu? Parce que souvent dans le reporting, il arrive que on reproche que les résultats en amont ou en aval ne soient pas assez pertinents parce que les process de reporting ont beaucoup de biais, ainsi de suite. Comment l'IA peut essayer de rendre ça un peu plus crédible, là où l'humain n'a pas l'occasion de faire un peu l'échantillonnage de tout, le tout, ainsi de suite. Donc, merci.
Okay, let me try to translate. He said, okay, thank you so much. A part of these examples of UNITA and UNICEF, have you been able to apply this exercise for other UN agencies, projects or programs, like to assess the effectiveness, effects of program or projects, as we are looking for more credible reports? Do this AI can help us, and how do you have any experience about that?
Yeah, so we have done a lot of different AI projects with many different UN agencies. So beyond these, we've also done projects with UNFPA with their strategic plan evaluation, UNHCR with more AI avatars, UNESCO with their synthesis of their evaluations. Even beyond the UN system, we've done with USAID many projects. For example, for USAID, we did avatars in Sudan, we did avatars in Bosnia, we've done avatars in Mexico. So a lot of the major multinational organizations are actively trying to use AI, and we've done many of these projects. Throughout, the key insights are very similar. AI is fairly accurate at this point, and it's around trying to apply it intelligently, trying to make sure that, all of the AI insights that are generated are properly reviewed and properly assessed, checking if there are any ambiguous phrases, trying to draw out the key insights rather than taking the insights at face value. And the kinds of analyses and use cases are also very similar to the two case studies that I shared here today, using avatars and using AI to analyze, reports or surveys or interview transcripts, doing desk review. It's all similar applications and similar overall takeaways.
Ok, thank you, sir. Monsieur Baga, je ne sais pas si vous voudriez qu'on traduise la
Non,
réponse.
c'est bon pour moi.
D'accord. Merci
J'espère
beaucoup.
que c'est bon pour tout le monde aussi, hein.
Euh, D'accord. On va prendre une autre question dans le chat. We will take another question in the chat. Someone is asking, I see that the AI's free plan is limited to insights for one question. Tim, what is the add value of AI lies for an emergent evaluator? And can we do the same analysis and reporting with other AI tools like Copilot or ChatGPT?
Yeah, so with the free plan on our tool, you're able to run as many analysis as you need, but for each project, you only can do one theme or one question at a time, and that allows you to fully understand how all of the features work. In terms of the comparison between ChatGPT and Copilot, some of the key differences are number one, the number of the amount of data that you can analyze. So here, for example, we analyzed over 700 management responses, but with ChatGPT or Copilot, you can't, upload that much data. And even if you upload some data, the AI won't actually look at all of the data. It only looks at bits and pieces of it, and it's not very comprehensive. So that's one big difference. The second difference is the user interface. So with this tool, you have things like graphs, charts, you have quotes, and you can even see citations. You can click on the citations to see where the information lies in the source document. So all of that becomes very useful because you're able to verify, you're able to check, and you're able to give a deeper analysis with, for example, frequency charts or tables. However, with ChatGPT or Copilot, you're not able to really click on the quotes. You're not really able to interact with graphs, or often you can't even create graphs that are accurate. So that's the second difference. And the third difference is this is really made much more for evaluation and qualitative kind of analyses. So what that means is these models are purpose-built for doing these kinds of deep research, whereas ChatGPT or Copilot, it's aimed to give you the fastest response possible. But in this tool, we actually do a lot of deep analysis and fact checking, and then giving you a very, very detailed report, rather than trying to aim for giving you the fastest analysis possible. So those are three key differences. Another comment is, it seems like it's not easy to know which phrases are ambiguous or not. So it is indeed not that straightforward, although over time, as you use AI more and more, it becomes more and more obvious. So things that are not ambiguous, meaning things that are quite straightforward, are things like, trying to understand what are, let's say for a strategic partnership, Instead of saying strategic partnership, it's partnership with a private sector partner. So that makes it obvious and it makes it much easier for the AI to analyze. You could also put something like, instead of leave no one behind, is whether they reached out to refugees, whether they reached out to disabled populations. So breaking it down and make it much more specific allows the AI to pinpoint the exact analysis that you need.
Thank you, sir. Any comments or any questions? Another one? Any else? Alors, y a-t-il encore d'autres questions, d'autres commentaires? Okay, there is another one in the chat. Let me.
Élisée? Allô?
Yes, there is a question. Why most of the time AI provide answers of questions that have not been asked?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
La parole. Is it why most of the time AI provide information that have been not asked by the user?
So I don't think it gives you totally irrelevant information. I think this is related to that ambiguous phrasing. So, sometimes you should treat an AI like an intern who doesn't understand your document, doesn't understand your evaluation questions, and if you don't give it enough context, it won't understand what you're looking for. So, for example, one very common thing is you would ask the AI, what are the top themes in these interviews? And it's really not clear sometimes what you're trying to achieve. And so one theme that the AI might identify could be, a theme about how, there was a lot of conflict in this region and the implications of those conflict and sort of the economic impact of the conflict. But maybe that's not your interest. Your interest is more around how did your program help help to reduce the impact of the conflict. So that makes it, to you, it's AI giving you irrelevant information, but actually it's really not clear what kind of themes you wanted. Another person could be using those transcripts to also identify the impact of the economic situation. So what's important is to make your question as clear as possible, and you need to do this in an iterative way where you ask a question, you review the insights, and then you clarify accordingly. So you don't treat AI like, somebody who can read your mind. You make it very explicit and you make it very clear, and you try, it's a trial and error process.
Okay, thank. Oui, Monsieur Descailles, Mr. Descailles, Mr. Namu.
Ok, merci,
Yes, you
Monsieur
can open your
Kouman.
mic.
Merci, Monsieur Kouman. Merci au conférencier. Je voudrais savoir s'il existe un document de normes pour l'utilisation de l'IA dans le domaine de l'évaluation. Et je voudrais aussi savoir qu'est-ce que, par exemple, un étudiant doit faire pour éviter le plagiat. Est-ce qu'il peut donner des conseils aux étudiants qui rédigent, par exemple, des mémoires ou des thèses en matière d'utilisation de l'IA, parce que souvent, ils sont tentés à aller vers le plagiat. Est-ce qu'il peut donner des conseils dans ce sens? Merci beaucoup.
Okay, he's asking, is there any documentation, maybe official documentation about, standards about the using of AI in the evaluation area? And then for a student, the using of AI can help us to prevent any plagiat or plagiarism.
Yeah. So in terms of AI in evaluation, I think what you can try to look at is the UN evaluation group, and they have some resources, things like the ethical principles for harnessing AI. They have tried to highlight some of the key impact of using AI. You can look at some of the reports that UNICEF and UNFPA have put out, where they talked about the power of AI in impact evaluation, as well as Gen AI powered evaluation function at UNFPA. I think these are the two agencies that have been pushing very hard to use AI and have documented some of these use cases. And then your other question was around plagiarism. So there is not much risk of plagiarism if you are using AI to analyze data, because when you're analyzing data, all of the insights come from your source data, and the AI is just making, you'll see that, most of the AI elaboration is just taking quotes from the participant and elaborating on those quotes. So maybe just to give you one example. So here, this is just one example of, how AI might elaborate on some quotes. So it just says that, this is a quote, and then this statement reveals something. So the AI is not really going to plagiarize any works. It's using all of your source information, talking about the quotes in your documents, and then just explaining what those quotes mean in the context of your data. So the risk of AI plagiarizing, if you are just trying to analyze data, is relatively low.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. James. Y a-t-il d'autres questions? Is there another question? We are going to close the session. Okay, someone is asking, where is AI lies, accessible to familiarize with?
Sorry, maybe can you rephrase that question?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the question. Where is, okay, please, Mr. Albert NIC, please, can you rephrase your question, please?
Can I speak now, please?
Yeah, you can open your mic. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes, well, I think we should thank you for organizing this event, and also thank James for the expose, which is comprehensive. What the question I am asking is to know where to find this software if we want to use it in our own activities.
Yeah, so you could go to allies.com. You can use the free plan, and that allows you to analyze some data and get a sense of how to use AI in your work. So you can use it to analyze reports, analyze your evaluation reports, analyze your survey data, analyze your interview data. even using the free plan.
So there is a free option and the payment option.
Yep, there's a free option and a payment option.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Free software. Sorry. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we have done. Alors, s'il n'y a plus d'autres questions, nous allons maintenant mettre fin à la session. Et nous voulons, au nom du président Samuel Kwaku, le président de UVAL, dire merci beaucoup à tous les participants. Il aurait voulu prendre la parole, mais il est là pour nous entendre. Les circonstances ne lui ont pas permis. Mais vous avez ses salutations et il vous traduit ses salutations aussi. Alors, nous voulons vous dire merci. Nous vous demandons de rester, s'il vous plaît, connectés sur les différents canaux digitaux de DGVAL afin de rester informés de toutes nos activités. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us during this webinar. Thank you so much to Mr. James. On behalf of President Samuel Kwaku, we want to greet you.
Yeah.
We ask you to remain connected in all our social media, so to keep informed about our activities. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend. See you soon. Bye.